We've always modeled ourselves as what if we could give every student on the planet something that approximates a tutor, and what if we could give every teacher a teaching assistant? So Khan Academy, our mission, free world-class education for anyone, anywhere. Before generative AI, we were doing this in different ways with videos and exercises and giving teachers dashboards and lesson plans and things like that. But then about a little under a year ago, the OpenAI team reached out to us. This was end of summer of 2022. And I had been following GPT-2, GPT-3, and it was interesting, but I didn't think it had direct relevance yet to what we were doing. But then Sam Altman and Greg Brockman gave me and a few of our team members access to GPT-4. And so this was well before ChatGPT even, but we saw the original GPT-4, said, okay, this is a game changer because you can actually prompt it to be like a tutor, to be like a teaching assistant, help a teacher create a lesson plan. A few months ago when GPT-4 was announced, we were under a non-disclosure agreement for 6-7 months. We launched with it as a pilot, Conmigo. And we have about 3,000-4,000 people using it today. I'm hoping within a month or two we're going to be able to release it to everyone. But what we're seeing is it's doing what we always hoped, that you get to do everything you traditionally did on Khan Academy, but if you have a question, answers right then. If a teacher wants a lesson plan, does it right then. If a teacher wants to talk about how they can help their students better based on their work on Khan Academy, it can present that. It can help a student decide what to work on next. And I think we're at the cusp of doing things that would have seemed like science fiction. Even the Conmigo that we already released, students can talk to fictional characters. They can talk to historical characters. The AI will help them write. It won't do the writing for them. Everything is monitored by the parents and by the teachers. So we try to make it as safe of an environment as possible. So I think a year from now, you're going to see a dramatic change. Today, if you talk to a student, they take it for granted that anything that they need to learn, they can learn online. It's just assumed. But when I was in school, I couldn't assume that. I had to go to a class, I had to get a textbook, and they'll assume that it'll be on demand, that they can get videos, they can get articles, they can get practice, and now with AI, they can even have follow-on questions. So I think that's a dramatic change. I think 10, 15 years ago, the status quo was the teacher would be at the front of the room and giving a lecture, and kids would be sitting there taking notes. That's still happening in a lot of places, but I think the best practice, people realize, isn't that. The best practice is if human beings are getting together, don't just give a lecture. That can happen on a video, that can happen on a MOOC, that could happen someplace else. If you're in a room together, interact with each other, have a conversation, work on a project, do peer-to-peer learning. So I think even though that isn't mainstream yet, I think the idea that that's the aspiration, that has become mainstream. When I was in college, I found that I learned much better outside of a lecture hall. In a lecture hall, I would usually fall asleep. And so I would either go to the computer lab and program, or I would just go to the library and I would study, or I would just hang out and chat with people and learn from their experiences. And I found in college, by skipping classes in a productive way, I was able to learn more. I was able to take more classes. And when other kids, the kids who sat in the lecture hall, they sat the whole term. And then right before the exam, they knew almost nothing, and then they crammed the night before. So that I was like, what are you doing the last 3 months? While me and some of my friends who, for the most part, didn't go to class, but we were reading, we were doing the problem sets, we were working with each other, we didn't have to study for the test because we've already been learning it. And because we didn't cram, we retained the knowledge. And so this really informs what I think college of the future should be like. That my best memories of college are these having a debate with your friends, or working on a project, or a philosophical conversation. That should be all of college. And the learning your accounting, or learning calculus, or learning whatever it might be, getting your writing to a certain level. You can now do that at your own time, at your own pace with Khan Academy, especially now that you have artificial intelligence. If you need some extra support, you have your peers. More support than that, maybe the university can provide. But once again, it's more hands-on, it's more personalized. But most of the university experience, in my mind, should be interacting with other human beings. I actually would probably get rid of the whole credit system altogether. And I would think about what are the competencies that people care about? People care that you need to be able to write at a certain level. So, okay, let's create assessments so someone can write at that level. And it's usually like if you can truly write at a college freshman level, you're actually employable. Most people in the world write at 7th or 8th grade level. They don't write at a college level. If you can write at a college level, you're employable. If you understand statistics at a college freshman level, you're ahead of 99% of people. And then I would make the actual college campus kind of like a Y Combinator, a place where people could come, but it's not just starting tech companies. It could be, I want to start a nonprofit. It could be, I want to go into the local community and tutor students. It could be, I want to do research, real research. So when we say it's all hands-on, it's not made-up projects that you do a hands-on project and the professor grades it and then everyone throws it away. It's like, no, go find a business that needs your help and see if you can help them. And I'm not going to grade you. I mean, I'll advise you. I'll think about how you could do it better if I'm your professor. But you're going to be graded by society. I mean, you're going to put it on your resume. I went and worked with this firm and I was able to do this or I wasn't able to do that, etc. If I were to be a university president tomorrow, I would do two things. I would do one thing for all of society and then I would do one thing for my campus. For all of society, I would take my ability to give credits and I would either construct or partner with Khan Academy. And I would say, if you learn calculus on Khan Academy and we prove it's you, we will give you the credit for that. If you do that for psychology, we will give you the credit. You do that for finance, accounting, we'll give you the credit. And then we're going to make a diploma. For that, anyone can get it, and maybe it costs $10 per credit. The whole diploma could cost $100, and if you're poor, we'll give it to you for free. So that's the university will do that for the world. And then for our students, what I would say is, look, whatever you want to do, you want to become a banker, you want to become an engineer, get the credits. They're available for anyone. You should do it too. But we're going to optimize our campus to essentially nurture you, to connect with other amazing people, do research, start businesses, get real world experience. Our graduation requirement is going to be, by the time you graduate, you have to have 4 failed businesses. If you succeed in one of them, okay, we still might graduate you too. And you should have 4 experiences working for other people's, whether it's a research lab or a project, writing a novel, whatever it might be, or an internship. But having this real world experience, having a base of operation, a beautiful campus where you can interact, trade ideas, meet the best friends of your life, maybe your partner one day. But then you have the online component to learn at your own time and pace. And it's always there. Later on, I mean, there's so many students, they graduate in one major, then 10 years later, they say, oh, I wish I learned accounting. Hey, we're always there for you. We have the online thing. You can still come back and learn the accounting on our online platform. Because of the internet, because of artificial intelligence, I think we're living in a science fiction book now, and we have the opportunity to define what that science fiction book becomes. And I think it's a very exciting time, but it's a time where we can't sit passively. If we just sit passively and sit cynically, I think some of the dystopian science fiction books can easily become the reality. While if you take all of the positive energy, and 99% of people have positive intent. They have positive energy. They want to do something good in the world. If we can harness that energy, let people stay positive, but leverage some of this technology that we're starting, that's accelerating, it's going to be a very exciting next couple of decades.